Welcome back. This is Chapter 6, the book warrior from the Shadowy Figures of the Aztec Theater. Luis Rivas has faced shadows in the dark, but now Father Fisher sends him somewhere far more intriguing, into the endless rows of dusty archives, where forgotten histories and buried secrets wait to be unearthed. There, he meets Clara Gonzalez, a feisty librarian whose knowledge of San Antonio's ghostly past is as sharp as her tongue. She has heard the whispers about the Aztec Theater, and she's not afraid to dig deeper, even if the truth has teeth. Turn down the lights, steady your breath, and prepare to follow Luis into a realm where paper cuts and phantoms share the same shelves. The book warrior awaits.
Chapter 6, Book Warrior. Clara Gonzalez didn't believe in ghosts, but she did believe in shadows. Not the kind that flickered across alleyways or curled beneath locked theater doors. No, Clara had never seen a ghost in her life, but she felt the ones people carried around. The kind that hid behind someone's smile, or clung to the way they said, "I'm fine," when they absolutely weren't. That was the kind of haunting Clara understood. It was also the kind she lived with. She sat behind the front desk of the San Antonio Central Library, fingers drumming the edge of a well-worn copy of West Side Love Story by Priscilla Oliveira, her favorite novel set in San Antonio. Her thick-rimmed glasses, scratched near the bridge, had slid down her nose again. She didn't fix them. Her braid had unraveled sometime that morning. She didn't fix that either. Her cardigan had a coffee stain on the right sleeve. She didn't care. The building around her was quiet. Too quiet for a Monday. The only sounds were the faint hum of the air conditioning and the hollow echo of a single patron pacing the second-floor mezzanine like a ghost who hadn't decided what book he wanted to die with. Perfect. Most people thought librarians were gentle, nurturing, bookish angels. Clara had once thrown a stapler at a man who called her a literary angel. She preferred dragons. Dragons were smarter, quieter, more territorial, and they didn't apologize for hoarding things.
She took a sip of her now-cold coffee. She knew it was against the rules, but she had built herself a coffee fort made out of books under the counter. She sighed with satisfaction. Then the front doors opened. Clara looked up and immediately groaned internally. A man stepped in, broad-shouldered, slightly rumpled. The kind of rumpled that suggested it wasn't a one-time accident but a full-time condition. He had the face of someone who used to laugh more than he currently did. Kind eyes, tired ones. Clara braced for disappointment. "Mornin'," he said with a nod. "I was wondering if someone could help me find local newspaper archives and city records from the 1920s to the 1940s? She raised an eyebrow. "You do know this is a library, not the Smithsonian?" "Yeah, but... And you know periodicals are digitized now, right? We're not, like, dusting off scrolls back here." He blinked, caught off guard. "I mean, you thought we'd have a magical backroom filled with yellow death notices and haunted news clippings you could just thumb through like a ghost detective?" He scratched the back of his neck. "Honestly? Yeah. A little." She stared, deadpan. He added, "Father Fisher sent me. Said I should talk to Clara Gonzalez." She paused. The wall she'd already started building cracked just slightly. "Oh." She exhaled, the fire dimming. "Well, you should have led with that. I wouldn't have been such a jerk," he offered, polite. "I was going to say bitch, but sure. Jerk's cuter." She stood and grabbed her lanyard from the desk. "Come on, ghost detective. Let's see if the dusty archives bless you with a vision." He chuckled, following her past rows of forgotten books and humming public computers. "What's your name again?" she asked without looking at him.
"Luis."
"Right. The janitor priest scholar." "Close. Janitor theater guy student." "You're missing an obvious opportunity to be a priest. Get a cape. Latin phrases. You'd be irresistible to desperate people and elderly women." He grinned. "You know, for someone who doesn't like helping people, you talk a lot." She glanced back over her shoulder, amused. "Talking isn't helping. It's my defense mechanism. Ask my therapist." They continued deeper into the library, into corridors that smelled like paper and old cleaning solution. Clara's steps grew more confident as she led the way, like every stack and hallway recharged her. "I don't usually do this," she said. "Help people, I'm honored." "You shouldn't be. It just means I'm probably going to regret it." They stopped in front of a side door labeled staff only. Clara unlocked it and flicked on the overhead light. Inside was a cramped room filled with 3 book carts, 2 filing cabinets, and a folding table smothered in manila folders, microfilm reels, a lamp with a broken pull chain, and an entire constellation of post-it notes in increasingly tiny handwriting. "This," she said dramatically, "is where I keep the dead." Luis peered inside. "You've been researching this already?" "Not the theater specifically, just the era. I've been obsessed with the 1920s and 30s since I was a kid. The clothes, the music, the glamour covering decay. It's like everybody was tap dancing on a cliff and pretending they weren't falling." She moved with surprising grace in the tight space, clearing newspapers from the table like she was opening a crime scene. Luis watched her. It was hard not to. She wasn't beautiful in the glossy, obvious way. She was something else. A little intimidating, a little wild. But when she talked about the past, she lit up. Like maybe she was built from fragments of a world that didn't exist anymore. "I collect stories," she said, pulling out a folder labeled 1930 to 1932, obits and accidents. "People think I do it because I'm a librarian, but I do it because it makes me feel close to something. Like I missed the party, but I'm still picking up the glitter."
Luis nodded.
"I get it." She looked up. "You do?" "Yeah, I think that's why I'm at the Aztec. I don't belong there, not really, but something's holding me, like the theater wants to be heard." Clara studied him. "You sound like someone who fell in love with a haunted building." He smirked. "You sound like someone jealous of a haunted building." She blinked, then smirked back. "Don't flatter yourself. I'd only get jealous if it were a haunted bookstore." They locked eyes for a beat too long. Clara cleared her throat and sat down. "So," she said, "what did you actually see?" Luis leaned against the table. "Lights that blink on when no one's there. Shadows on the balcony that vanish when you get close. A chandelier that pulses like it's breathing. There are voices, but not angry ones. Curious, maybe." Clara tapped her pen against the folder. "Not angry is interesting. Ghosts usually have a reason to yell. Curious means they're looking for something." Luis rubbed the back of his neck. "Father Fisher said they might be echoes. Stories that never got told." Clara nodded. "That tracks. There was so much loss in that era. People vanishing, jobs, lives, secrets hidden behind newspaper ink. I want to find them, the names, the events. If I can just trace it back, maybe I can understand it." Clara smiled. "Wow, you really are a nerd."
Luis grinned.
"And you're in here on your day off surrounded by accident reports from 1932. What's your excuse?" "I don't have one," she said, flipping open a folder. "I'm the dragon, remember? You're just lucky I didn't eat you when you walked in. I'm still not ruling that out." "Good," she said. "Smart man." They worked together in silence for a few minutes. Clara scanning articles with highlighter-like precision, Luis jotting notes in a small notebook. Occasionally, their knees bumped beneath the table. Neither said anything about it. After a while, she glanced up. "You don't really look like a Luis." He raised an eyebrow. "What's a Luis supposed to look like?" "I don't know. Chubby? Less? Broody janitor vibes." He laughed. "And you don't look like a Clara." She tilted her head. "What do I look like?" He pretended to think. "A fire hazard. Someone who leaves the stove on to go solve a mystery in a dress from 1935. That's alarmingly accurate."
"I'm gifted."
She smiled, wide this time, unguarded. He leaned forward. "Thanks for helping. Seriously." Her voice dipped. "Don't make it weird, Luis Reyes." He stood up, teasing. "Too late. I'm already composing a haiku about you and filing systems." She threw a pen at him. He ducked. "Missed. You're lucky I'm out of staplers."
The dust has settled, but the shadows are far from gone. Clara may be the key Luis needs. or the bait the darkness has been waiting for. Either way, the theater's grip is tightening. Leave me a comment telling me where you're watching from. If you felt the chill in this chapter, share it with someone who loves a good haunting, hit that like button, and subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. The shadows are whispering, and they want you to listen.